Hi everybody, Dr. LeGrand here, and today I'm going to be talking about the crucial vitamins that everybody who has ADHD should be taking. We'll be diving in that, but before I get started, whether you are on Facebook watching this live or on YouTube watching the replay, go ahead and download my free guide for ADHD. I have a free guide for both for people who have ADHD who are adults, as well as if you're a parent and has a child with ADHD. It goes over everything as far as what vitamins, nutrients, supplements that you should be implementing, what labs to run, what types of foods you should be implementing, as well as what types of foods you should be avoiding. So if you want to download that free guide, you could either, if you're on Facebook, it should be the links above, as well as if you're on YouTube, it should be in the description below as far as what you could download for my free guide. So diving right in, as far as when it comes to what vitamins are crucial to be taking if you have ADHD. I see lots of patients with ADHD, and these are the things that I do highly recommend all the time because there's always a deficiency in these types of areas with people who have ADHD. A very big one that I always recommend is definitely B vitamins. We don't get enough B vitamins in our diet, especially for people who have ADHD. I find, especially even for kids, don't get a good enough balanced diet. So specifically more vitamin B6 as well as vitamin B12. These types of B vitamins do help with neurotransmitter process in our brain, which, when it comes to ADHD, we tend to have a lack of dopamine. And so this helps the process of building that, as well as is a crucial type of vitamin for the building aspect of all different types of other dopamine and other neurotransmitters that we need to be implementing. The second thing that I do recommend is vitamin C. Vitamin C not only can be helpful for boosting our immune system, but it's also a very crucial vitamin for neurotransmitters. Now, if you're not familiar about neurotransmitters, it is something that's specifically in our brain that our brain is constantly building and breaking down as far as when it comes to using dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, all these different types of aspects to help improve upon our brain and the functionality of our ADHD. So this, when it comes to dopamine, it does deal with regulation of helping us with focus, attention, mood balance, all these kind of things that are very important. So vitamin C is something you should be definitely implementing on a regular basis. The other thing that could be a possibility for people who have ADHD, and I've talked about this a lot in my channel on lots of different videos, is the possibility of having iron deficiency. I see this all the time with patients who have ADHD where they can have iron deficiency, and it can actually show symptoms. If you have iron deficiency, it can present with having ADHD symptoms. So things such as brain fog, inattention, fatigue, these are things that could be possibilities. So if you suspect that you do have an iron deficiency, implementing iron could be really, really crucial to be taking on a regular basis. The other thing to also implement is zinc. Now, zinc is also a great important mineral that also helps the process of our neurotransmitter process. Just like zinc is used for a lot of things in our body to help the biochemical process, nutrition, going back and forth, it also is important for the brain when it comes to the neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin, all the different types of things that we use as people who suffer with ADHD tend to have a lack of dopamine reuptake and feedback loops that are going on in the brain. So that is something that I definitely would highly recommend. But the other thing also important is magnesium. Now, this type of electrolyte is not only really crucial for every part of our organ of our body, but our brain relies on it. Just like our stomach as well as our heart, our brain does rely off of magnesium to be able to open up channels and close channels. It's kind of like fuel to make things start moving and functioning properly. When you take magnesium, especially if you are deficient in this, when you have ADHD, you will see if you start taking it, you will start having better focus, attention, be a little bit more aware of your surroundings, as well as help with things such as if you're constipated, help with bowel movements, as well as muscle cramps that could be a possibility. But when it comes to ADHD, is to help with the focus and attention that could be possibly an issue going on with your ADHD. So the last thing I do recommend that are really crucial to start be implementing that I see all the time in deficiencies in this area is vitamin D. Now, why is vitamin D so important for people who have ADHD? Well, it does have a lot to do with mood imbalance, and people with ADHD can have different mood imbalances going on. And here, especially if you're in more of a northwest area where it's more dark and you're not seeing so much sunlight, you will see a lot of people have deficiency in vitamin D. And people with ADHD definitely need this to help with improving mood enhancement. So now in the summer months, this can be fine as far as, not need to necessarily take a high dose of vitamin D, but certainly in the winter months, you certainly should, and definitely should have it checked if you have ADHD, if this is a possibility that could be hindering what is going on. Now, hopefully you did find this to be very beneficial for you guys. And of course, go ahead and download my free guide that goes over all the supplements supplements, nutrients, as well as different labs to run and different foods to implement. If you have ADHD, if you're on Facebook, you can actually download that on the description above. And if you're on YouTube, that will be in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. So without further ado, until next time, this is Dr. Legrand signing out. And remember, you guys have an optimal mind. Thanks. Bye.